Shaking my head. Okay. It's week 3, isn't it? Okay. Stream title is updated. Okay, spawning in the... I forgot to ask if it's a best of 5 or a best of 3. I don't know. I'm going to assume it's a best... I think it has to be a best of 5 because we are in week 3, and so it is the team versus team matchup, which the admins all agreed should be a best of 5 in order to make it more like legit. In the top right, we have NineK spawning as Terran. eXiled went ahead for, I think that was a pylon scout. I wasn't actually paying attention. It was a very fast scout, faster than it's supposed to be. And as we come into game number 1, we're going to talk about why random versus Protoss is the most imba matchup in the game. Protoss, it is very important where the first pylon goes. Against Zerg, it must be here, or you are never able to take your natural. Against Protoss, it must be here, because you have to wall against Adepts, or you will lose all of your probes instantly. So what is a Protoss to do? And against Terran, you can do all sorts of different things, but that's not the point. The point is, in one matchup, it has to be here. In another matchup, it has to be here. So what is a Protoss to do? He's going to put it here. Luckily, it's Terran, not Zerg, so the fact that he can never take his natural shouldn't play into this. And eXiled is going to do what I think is probably a good idea, and is cheese the random player, because as the random player, they are going to be having a more difficult time understanding the nuances of the different defenses against all of the different Protoss all-ins that you can do. I'm not sure what this is for. Dark Shrine, maybe? It's in place. It could be a Stargate. NineK is going for a 2-gas opener, but Protoss is on 1 base still. Actually, I think that was an okay time. Nope, it was 2nd gas, so this is a late natural. I'm not sure if NineK is going to spot that, though. Twilight or Stargate? How much gas are we banking? We are banking a shit ton of gas. It's going to be a Stargate. Okay, Proxy Oracle. This is cool. I like playing Oracle against 2-gas openers myself. Shout out to Avery for getting me to do that every single game. Oh, scams. Reaper runs in, sees the Nexus, and says that's fine. That's all he wants to see. He's gonna immediately go straight to the proxy? Surely not. No. He is looking, it looks like he's looking for the proxy, though. Second, oh, is this gonna be for Void Rays? Is this a Void Ray thing? This really looks like shield batteries. And you know what? He canceled the Nexus! This is some crazy mind games. Okay. Yeah, this is gonna be a Void Ray battery all-in. I don't know if NineK knows how to defend this. I would wager probably not. Only 1 battery able to get down, though, as the Reaper spots this pretty early. 2-gas opener is not really what you want to see if you're going to go for a Void Ray all-in. Ideally, you want the Terran to be a bit greedier, because he's got a factory out already. Starport's done, he can start getting Cyclones and Vikings, and yeah, he's going to float over and do exactly that. This build really isn't that good anymore. And he proxied it really far away. It is able to get a 2nd probe here so we can build some more batteries, but like, this build hasn't worked in a year, at least a year. Multiple years. It was dominant in like 2020 during the Void Ray patch. The Void Rays were at their peak. I know everyone remembers that time fondly, and he's gonna fly the Void Ray over the Marines and almost lose it. And he's losing workers at home. Okay. This is game. Yeah, I just lost the Void Ray. You can leave. It's okay. We understand. There it is. Full balls here, he says. Are we going to see disruptors? Oh, full balls. Right. Sorry, no. If you do a best of 3 instead of a best of 5, you've got no balls. they are playing a best of 5, so they've got balls.
They have to do best of 5.
Yeah, I just didn't know if they knew they have to play a best of 5, you know?
Oh, gotcha.
But they do know. Okay, NineK spawned as Protoss. As a Protoss who knows that the other person is a Protoss, you can get away with some pretty crazy stuff right now. Because cannon rushes should be off the table, because all sorts of rushes should be off the table, I think NineK could get away with playing really greedy or playing really aggressive. Well, actually, probably not aggressive. Very, very early scout once again, and this is going to be pretty fine for eXiled. He's putting the wall in the right place. It is a bit later, though, because he had to spend his money on the early scout. Maybe he'll try to get the gas block. He is going to try it, but NineK is not going to allow for that. It does give eXiled a bit of like a theory boost. eXiled should understand PvP better, has played more PvPs, has more experience with PvPs than NineK. And I guess that's the payoff for the minor income advantage. Unoptimal scouting timing. You should never pylon scout in PvP. It's never worth it. You should either no scout or gate scout. Speaking of scouting, are we going to see any proxies? Or second pylon's going to be at home. This one second pylon is at home. Alright, we're going to have a boring PvP for a little bit here. If you want to see an entertaining PvP, go watch Bombs versus Beasts. Very entertaining PvP. I think I saw some of those game states for the first time in my life today. Never saw games like that before. You could just... NineK is just like 2 seconds ahead on the build order. And I'm going to blame the random advantage on that. This is interesting. There is a strategy you can do in PvP where you just hide a pylon in like the corner of someone's base and hope the other person doesn't notice it. Maybe that's what this is for, or maybe it's just for a late scout. Looks like NineK's got a proxy in mind. Okay, he's gonna check. So eXiled will know it is a Stalker opening. We've got, ooh, that's interesting. Stalker Adept opening. That's not very common. I do know of it. Hearthstone played it for a little bit, but it's not very common. People don't really like it that much. If you're gonna make Adepts, usually you get the two-shotting adept or workers with the Adepts. Kinda sucks. Wait, he's making a second. You gotta pair these guys up, you know? They're like beavers, they mate for life. And then you suicide them in. Oh, he's making an additional pair. Okay. So this is the solo beaver. And then these are like the regular beavers. But there's a battery.
Life, and they die together.
And they die. Well, this one's gonna die alone. It's so sad.
It really is.
Ooh, almost gets a kill here, but it is gonna escape. We got a Twilight from eXiled. Robo from NineK. I'm a big fan of Robo in PvP. It's my favorite opener. Twilight is usually considered standard. I don't see what he canceled there, but he's making a Robo now. Ronoing out Blink. Just checking around for some proxies. Kinda standard PvP, to be honest. I think eXiled is gonna feel more comfortable in like a macro PvP. He should know what's up. Here come his beavers. Except they've split up. We've got like a 3-way of beavers now. I guess that could happen. I don't see why not. Beaver, okay, but they're all gonna die together. This Adept doesn't have to die alone. It can die with this pair. And get 0 damage done. Nice game sense by NineK, or maybe he spotted it. The Adept is gonna get here, but there's a battery, so there should be no kills. Except he gets this one because of a bad rally. So 9K is up a couple workers. Mining just went better, or his macro is just a smidge cleaner. I will also say again that eXiled did have to do a much earlier scout, would be in an economically disadvantageous position. No, I'm not mad that I lose to random every time. Immortal, another Immortal. He's going Twilight. I wonder what he's going to follow this up with. Glaives is very hot. Robo into Glaives, but usually you don't get the Forge with that. So maybe it'll be... Oh, and the other guy is going Charge. Man, Glaives would be so hot here. It's kind of a late Twilight for Glaives, but you never know. He already has Blink, though, doesn't he? Yeah. Oh, we got Blink. Now he's gonna Charge. What's it gonna be, 9K? What have you got for me? Ah, it's Blink. Okay. This seems like the sort of game where both players want to take a fourth, but they're sort of afraid of the other guy, or a third, but they're sort of afraid of the other guy attacking into them. Templar Archives. This is a lot of teching for 2 bases. And he got a battery on the high ground. Dude, eXiled is so scared. You should see this 3rd base coming down. And that'll either prompt him to go on the offensive, or take his own 3rd. With Zealot Archon, you could probably shit all over this. I actually would really like it if eXiled's really committed to the 2 bases. How many gates is he on? Is it just the 4? Yeah, it's 4 gates versus 2 right now. Army supply is pretty close still. eXiled is up in upgrades pretty significantly, but down in Immortal count. Yeah. But the Immortal Robo Pay. Okay. Archons. Okay, this is too much for 2 bases, man. Surely you saw that the 3rd base went down, yes? Yes, you did. Okay, good. And you're just gonna take 1 way later. Alright. So this is kind of terrible, because it'll deal with the Disruptor, or the Disruptors will deal with the Immortals okay. But having a pretty Blink Stalker heavy army is going to suit him well against Disruptors. You really want to play like Mass Gateway style fast moving units and dodge the balls or pounce on him, attack in multiple directions. You don't want big slow units. And by making Archons, he's making big slow units. There are already, like, this will deal with the Immortal count pretty well. I also just don't think Disruptors are all that good. Like, I talked to Doomrat about maybe we'll get a chance to use a new piece of terminology that I proposed. We'll see if it comes up. I'm going to leave you in suspense. We'll see if it comes up. But with Disruptors, I have... We'll see how this goes. Disruptors are pretty hit and miss. Hit or miss. Resources lost, barely anything. They've been pretty content just to do their thing. Looks like eXiled wants to play a really late game. He's getting spotter pylons all over the place. I'm a big fan of this. I do this a lot in my games, although I think they could be a little bit more spread out. Give a bit more of a heads up. Get one like here, 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 and here. And then that one's also good. And you're gold. It's not enough of a heads up. Like one here probably covers this attack path and this attack path. I don't know. 4th base for 9K. We're gonna see a 4th base from eXiled too. eXiled just sort of macroing at initially a slower pace, but pulling ahead in supply. He's spending his money better. He's up in upgrades. 4th base is going to be pretty important. You know, I was sort of shitting on the Disruptors, but I wonder how much experience 9K has playing against Disruptors as Protoss. It can't be that much. This may be pretty disgusting. Let's see how it goes. fighting from the high ground initially. Are we base trading? Actually, that would not be a half bad idea because there's a huge Zealot run by going right into the 4th immediately. 2 bases are going to go down in the blink of an eye for 9K. While... Ooh! Disruptor hit. Spacing them out. Decent hits, decent hits. Very good units for base trading disruptors are. They're great at wasting time, which is what you want to be doing in a base trade. eXiled playing this base trade very well. Already took out the 2 preliminary bases. Running away with some of our workers so we can get a setup in like a corner somewhere would be a good next step. 29 dead workers already. Yeah, eXiled is playing this base trade way better, and you might even consider recalling. Disruptor doesn't quite pop. I think that's the only robo. The other one got killed. No, there are still 2. Ooh! I think there was a decent hit there, but I wasn't looking. Alright, there was a recall, but it was to the 3rd base. So 9K is kind of trapped here. He can try to recall home himself, but he's just going to be in a way worse position, or he can try and fight this army. Ooh, fat disruptor hit. You lose. Yeah, it's like lose-lose. You can either stay and die. Whew. Dodge with the recall, slick. Or you can be on 1 base against a, at the time, still 3 base. Or really a 1 base. 2 base. Don't think 9K knows. He does know. Yeah, 9K is fucked, is what I'm trying to say. I mean, I guess this fight could go horribly. There's still a couple of disruptors. There is a pretty big Archon count, but not a lot of eXiled's armies actually the disruptors. Fat disruptor hits again, really eating away at the HP of this army. And that's gonna be game. You know, I was doubting the disruptors a ramp into the natural. Maybe you can low ground wall here against Terran or Protoss. I don't think so. Low ground walling against Terran really sucks. But there is a ramp. Oh, it's Zerg. Okay. eXiled's fucked. Yeah. Sorry, guys. He's going for the fastest scout that he can, but it won't matter. He has to put his wall here. And putting a wall here against Zerg is 0% viable. GG. I don't know how meta you want to get about the mind games here, but the fact that 9K 12 pulled here is such a blunder. He's seen that eXiled has high ground walled every game this series, and he still goes for the 12 pull. Now, this could be a 12 pull, and then he doesn't commit to Lings, and he mines gas and goes for a Ravager all in to follow up. Try to lull eXiled into a false sense of security. If he commits to the Lings, it's such a throw. So yeah, eXiled cannot die, which is great. He's even gonna 2-gate. Oh, what? Double gas? Okay, so we're 1 base all-inning. Fair. That is very fair. What's the 1 base all-in? Are we gonna 4-gate? I mean, I tried doing that. This happened to me when I played 9K, and I tried to expand and just instantly lost. So I don't know what you're supposed to do here. Of course, I could have played it different, but like, ugh. Making sure you can have a tight wall when these Lings show up. Yeah, the Lings should do nothing. It's just now what. Double Adept, that's cool. I don't know why 9K went for this build. If he just did like a standard Zerg opener and just got a fast ling speed, he could have map control for the entire game. Instead, he'll do no damage with his 12 pool, and now he's facing double adept pressure that he doesn't have ling speed to deal with. I'm not sure what eXiled expected. Or I'm not sure what 9K expected here. Alright, here comes the Zealot and the 2 Adepts. This is a pretty standard aggression to do after defending a 12 pool. No drones to be killed. Gonna fight the Queen at first. Trade with the Lings. Not bad. Loses the Zealot. Gonna try and trade in again. The Lings aren't following, so these 2 Adepts are gonna get a lot done, potentially. Not pulling the drones away. We're just gonna take it. Loses 4 drones. And is gonna leave. Alright, pretty conservative. 4 drones for 1 adept is a wonderful trade. We take that every day of the week. And now eXiled is just going to expand. And I know I just went on a massive rant about how this was an unlosable game for 9K. I did not expect 9K to like stab himself in the dick. Begin. Because yeah, this is a viable game now. In fact, eXiled might even be in a better position. Except I don't know if he knows how to wall on this map. Doesn't look like a great map. Maybe. Void Ray first, Void Ray into Oracle. I mean, this is still weird. I don't know how much eXiled plays 2-gate first. I have to imagine it's like never. So his build has to be fucked up, I would think. So we're still kind of just winging it. Why Templar? This looks like Archon drop, which is an extremely trendy build right now. Mana was a big fan of this for a really long time. And then some of the other top Protosses realized that it counters everything. His Robo is pretty late, so drop will hit late, so there's that. So this build just kind of doesn't work anymore, and the Archon drop isn't going to hit in time to have any significance. But he will have Templar. And he will have... It's hard for me to make calls on the timings in games like this, because 550 is an extremely late third base, but this was also a weird fucking game. The game is just like delayed a couple minutes. Void Ray poking around, looking okay. Maybe it wasn't for Archon drop. Maybe he just wanted Templar, which is fair. Storm also kills everything. Seems like the sort of game where you would consider taking the back base as eXiled. Although, as I say that, I don't know if 9K is going to give him the chance. Although that is an infestation, but what are we doing here? Double Evo, Roach Speed. I don't know why, but I've got a feeling in the back of my gut that says Swarm Hosts. Except that doesn't really make any sense because there isn't any spotting around the map. Void Ray cleared all of that up. Could be for Infestors, I suppose. In my experience, Infestors tend to be a kind of underwhelming unit. But I've been proven wrong before. Could also just be for a fast hive. Ultra. Okay, no, it is Swarm Host, just without the Nidus. Okay. Unless we'll see a Nidus soon. Okay, so my gut feeling was right. And okay, no, we are gonna get vision from it from alternate sources. I think he wanted to put a Nidus, but there is no Nidus. Is there a Nidus? No, there is no Nidus. So I guess he's just gonna Swarm Host the front. Which, good enough, I guess. Good enough. Swarm Host Nidus is way better, though. Hell, Nidus in general is just really good. Very underutilized, methinks. So how many Swarm Hosts have we got? 8. Going up to 12. Bit of trivia. Does anyone know if locusts continue to deteriorate while they're stasis? Does anyone know the answer? I believe they do.
I do not.
Well, fun fact, I think they do. Don't quote me on that, though, in your academic journal. Alright, first Swarm Host wave. Usually this is like the big telling one. If this one gets damage, it tends to snowball pretty hard. If it gets nothing, the Protoss can stay alive, but maybe they'll still fuck it up. Very easy to fuck as well. Doesn't lose a Nexus, so that's good. Well, doesn't lose the Nexus yet. Unfortunately, his standing army is just kind of crap. So I think my initial prediction from the start of the game will stay right, and eXiled was doomed from the start. When he high ground walled and didn't... I mean, yeah, his natural was extremely... Yeah, I was always right. Well, okay, he's down 70 supply. He's trying to get a Robo Bay out. I'm not sure if this is for Disruptor or Colossus. I think Colossus is okay here. Can deal with the Locust pretty well, but there's just so many roaches. He's lost 2 bases already. Or he will lose 2 bases. Yeah. Sort of saw this one coming. Tell you what, I will, if someone can show me a replay where a random player playing against Protoss rolls Zerg and loses, I would love to see that replay. I don't think it's ever happened before. No, it has happened before. It happens if the player walls on the low ground. What am I saying? Except the walling on the low ground is a huge gamble. Blinks over to try and kill the Swarm Host, but there's a shit ton of roaches here. He's killing the rocks for some reason. I don't know. Next Locust wave will kill this base for free. Sorry, eXiled. Got unlucky with your wall, what can I say? Feels bad, man. Unless this Void Ray kills every Swarm Host and 3 bases before he gets forced out of the game by all these roaches. There we go. Ramp against Terran, but it's not like it actively harms you, like walling there against Zerg does. Oh my god. Alright, well, good try, eXiled. You did your best. I really hope NineK doesn't 12 pull again, because he almost managed to throw.
Is Zerg 9K's main race?
Zerg is the best race to roll against someone who always high ground walls against random.
Mm-hmm.
It is. This is. I'm gonna use strong language here. It is literally impossible to take your natural against random rolled Zerg if you wall on the high ground.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't take your second base
versus
against Zerg. Sorry?
Versus random, I always roll wall off on the natural.
Okay, so here's the issue with that. If you always do it one way, the random player in a best of 5 series will pick up on that. And if they roll Protoss or Terran, they can proxy Robo or proxy Marauder. And if you have a low ground wall, you insta lose to both of those. So no matter where you
Gotcha.
wall, there's a chance of insta losing.
So random's just garbage. I hate random.
Yes, random is just garbage. It should force reveal what the other player rolled, and that would be the only way to make it fair. I have respect for random players who announce what race they
Announce
rolled.
their race. Yeah.
If you don't, you're playing the OP race and you have an unfair advantage, and I will die on that hill. Now, admittedly, you do have to use the unfair advantage, right? But I think the point still stands. eXiled is going to go for a bit of a Hail Mary here. Try and get away with hiding something in the corner of the map. If eXiled just never notices this. Oh god. And then he loses the Zealot, and then the Lings get in. I would just GG here myself, honestly. I would be too mad. But this should be glaringly obvious to NineK that something is missing. Actually, maybe not. There are 2 pylons here. You don't need 2 pylons here to get the wall like that. But this is so much investment in shit that does not matter. I guess he does have this, but like... This is not a good start. I'm not sure what NineK thinks is happening. Because if... So there's 2 scenarios here. Either there's a proxy or a hidden base. Like, something's missing. And you should be tech, or there should be a nexus at this point in the game. And he scouted neither. You could, yeah, because you could either rush tech on one base, or you can expand. And he did neither. So there should be either a proxy Robo, a proxy Stargate, or a proxy Nexus. And I think NineK realizes this, because here comes the scout. That will eventually find the base. So he's going to lose his natural for free, which means he'll be reduced to a 1 base versus a 3 base Zerg, which means it's impossible to win. Cool series, guys. Not even a pylon here. And he just uses recall to get the probes here. So, alright, he scouts it. It's not sending the Lings over for some reason. You can kill this base for free at any time. Guess waiting for Ling speed? What are you doing? Dark Shrine, Desperation Dark Shrine, I like it. Because, yeah. eXiled is shitting himself. He's already he's anticipating the Ling flood. I think he's just buying time for the recall, maybe? I'm not sure. Okay, now we're gonna go. Oh, you got to mine off of it for like an extra minute. Bro, what are you doing? This is like defenseless baby against raging orangutan. We're just gonna not? The second he attacks, were you waiting for Ling speed? Okay, now all the probes get out. What the fuck is... What? Okay. NineK just decides his race is Imba, so he's gonna let this slide.
What the hell is even that?
I'm confused. Did he think there was gonna be like 100 cannons here? Or he just assumed that there was 100 cannons here? Alright, in run the DTs, there's actually no detection. There is a layer, so we can get some overseers. If he targets down the hatch... Oh, never mind, there was already an overseer. So, this gets... very little done. And so now he has to play PvZ without a Stargate, which is almost as bad as playing against random, because it's trying to fight Zerglings in the early game without air units is fucking brutal. Yeah, the third base is going to be just as hard to take as the natural was supposed to be. Now, Archons in a Prism is a way to deal with Lings, but he doesn't have that, because the Archon died. So you can either 2-base all in here, which I don't think is going to work, because the Zerg is just too big at this point, or you can try and take a late third and just be behind the entire game and lose like last time. I mean, the other reason you need a Stargate is so if the Zerg decides to go Mutas, you can make Phoenix, because trying to fight Phoenix without, or trying to fight Mutas without Blink or Phoenix is kind of makes you want to like stick your face in a... Ooh, okay, I was trying to think of a good metaphor. It makes you want to use sandpaper, toilet paper. Trying to fight Mutas with linkless stalkers exclusively. I mean, he's already down this game. Now, NineK did do everything in his power to try and throw this game, but it's not gonna matter. These fly in. Exiled's also going Disruptors, which is kind of troll. Disruptors against Zerg are not very good. And that's that. Does have an Archon. 2 Archons in a Prism. So maybe eventually push this away. Maybe. But he's lost control of his main. And he doesn't have a third. And he's maxing out on roaches. NineK is maxing out on roaches. So, you know. This makes me sad. I feel really bad for eXiled. I applaud his efforts. They just seem so in vain to me. He's got a warrior spirit. That one. More than I can say about myself. Will he die trying to defend the third? Tries to save the disruptors, does get a shot off, doesn't kill any roaches, does hurt a bunch of them. Gonna fight okay here. Where'd the mutas go? Oh, they're helping fight. Yeah, that'll be game. eXiled, if you'd ever like to join the fuck random hand club, just hit me up. We've got jackets. Again, stronger spirit than I. There is no world where a 2-base Protoss beats a 5-base Zerg, but he's gonna try. Not willing to give up. You know how in like chess.com, when you watch a replay of it, there's like the bar that slides back and forth to show who's winning, black or white? It's at like 99% 9K right now, you know? There is no detection, so technically eXiled will not be forced out of the game yet. He's gonna make eXiled make, how many Overseers is that? 7 Overseers, and then now we can end the game. Now we can end the game. Now we
At least this guy's got spirit, man.
He sure
He's
does.
got heart.
He's got more heart than me. This guy's got the heart of an elephant. Fortunately, NineK has an elephant rifle, and it's just been emptying rounds into the dead elephant's corpse for like... Honestly, he's been, in my opinion at least, which is right, the elephant's been dead this whole time, and he's just been shooting in the corpse with an elephant rifle over and over again. Okay, I don't want to dismiss NineK. He played this well, he macroed well, he did his thing. I'm not trying to say like NineK is a bad player or anything, but there is no way that eXiled was ever going to win this game. Are we going to force the elimination here? Like, what are we waiting on? Usually when I'm playing a game and I'm getting like attacked, I'll defend until like I've lost my outermost expansions that are like required to at least even with the opponent. Alright, there, this GG. 3-1 for NineK. Well played to him, but also nice race.
Yeah. You have a good night, Mr. Fireclaw.
Oh, it's already ruined. Thanks, you too.
Freaking